Yeah, it's a dove. Hi, dove. How you doing? Which means there's going to be a house over there or apartment. 5-story or 6-story apartment. Wouldn't that be? I don't know. Hmm? Oh, another one showed up. That's a different bird there. Over there is the dove. Dove means peace. There's a bird. Birds on a wire. Like I was saying, Mark and Brian box escape that Franz Ray helped them build. I was thinking like the classic way that they made their getaway to appear in the helicopter. But Dave Duncan let me see something a little differently. He said, look at the top, like spandex hollow tables and couches. And I said, oh yeah, I see it. That's what, oh, thanks Dave Duncan. That is right. So basically, they didn't mingle as extra assistants like normally you would see 10 crew people with same outfits on wheeling something away, but then all of a sudden there'd be 12, but you're not paying attention to that. But that wasn't the method. Dave Duncan let me realize that that box has a trap at the bottom so that they can go into the base of the top platform. That explains why I kept seeing the same amount of crew people. There wasn't any extras. That was throwing me off. And I was thinking, well, maybe there's a mirror. But no, that's not even it at all. That's like Dave Duncan noticed. That's a hollow base platform. And they're in the top of it. And the box that goes in the air by a crane, by a smoke thing, a red dust, I forget what you call that. There's nobody in it. And the hands you see that go inside the box, outside the box, is fake hands controlled by wires by the assistants, moving them up and down. Because when Ron says, they should be done, they should have been out by now. Oh, okay, that's it, take it down. And then also the box falls down to a billion bits. And then the helicopter comes out of nowhere and lands. And out pops Mark and Brian out of the chopper. And the audience is amazed. And one says, "Killer, it worked." The other guy says, "I don't even know how it works." The thing is, they're probably saying truthful words because they haven't played it back to see how the audience saw it. But later on, they saw it later on, and they probably said, "Wow, that worked real good." That's all called time misdirection. Fran's doing slide of talk. That's called time misdirection. When he's saying, "Okay, take it down. They should have been done out of there by now. Just kick the box open. Just come down from now." Anyway, you get the idea. All that is all misdirecting while they go into the helicopter and raise up in the air and come up in front of the audience and land. Fron Troy does something similar, but the difference is he makes his getaway in hollow stairs and then reappear. And there's a guy that looks like he's dangling with his feet. That's you think that's Fron Ferrari, but that's an assistant that goes into the back hollow wall of the platform that when the box collapses and hangs in the air on the crane, it looks like it's empty. Meanwhile, Franz comes down on the side of a helicopter, lands and gets out, or reappear slowly on a sheet at a different location with a table with mirrors, or come by on a boat waving with a flag. Or reappear in the audience after disappearing on the stick collapse box in the air. Fron Troy understands misdirection, and so does Mark and Brian. Box to chopper illusion. And Fron Ferrari making a Santa Fe hotel vanish. Jesus help me realize how it was done by making the clouds pop up at the right moment, because before the vanish, the white RV is a white color, and then it becomes a dark color, and then I noticed the clouds also, that they're before the vanish and after the vanish, The clouds are even with the road. The sun meets the horizon, then reverse it to bring the Santa Fe back. That whole platform rose up in the air and lowered back down. And Frontroy said on interviews and on his website, he has a new way of making airplanes and buildings vanish and reappear. The sun meets the horizon, so put it all together. And Penn and Teller on Off the Deep End used that method on a beach, pulling a whole bunch of stuff out of a basket, and the camera zooms away. There's a whole crew people and someone just handing them stuff through the bottom of the basket. It's all your perspective to make planes and airplanes and all that. Or you could use a fast elevator or flip it upside down and have a duplicate of the platform minus the plane, but the plane's hanging upside down, like the Green Hornet's car revolving idea. Or as Mitch Leary said, you could do Copperwood jet vanish where the platform raises up in the air and the plane stayed, and you put a duplicate road square part in place. And the airplane never moved, the audience just rose up in the air and reverse it to bring it back. And I was thinking you could even use a helicopter, raise it up in the air, and put a stage scrum netting in the background, or a mirror, roller shade mirror, and a cardboard cutout on the left and right of the jet. Or you can just haul it out the back and you do see someone let go, so the wheel went out the side back. You can have a projector to pre-recorded to look like the jet, or a cardboard cutout of half of each. That's why there's a black line there. And Frontier used a photorealistic cardboard cutout for the world's greatest magic shuttle Explorer vanish. And at a certain point, even the thing that the people are moving all around, it becomes a cardboard cutout. And then when they go looking at a duplicate area, looking all around on a platform, and then reverse it to bring it back. It was said in the Genie magazine that not only did Franz able to make the shuttle vanish, but he was able to control the weather. And what they meant by that, it's a sunny day and then a cloudy day and a sunny day again. But the problem is, if you look, Franz Ferrari, there's a big bug flying around his mouth. They had to stop recording and then start it up again. So that's, if it wasn't for that bug that he accidentally choked on, I read it somewhere. It might have been in a Magic magazine or a Genie magazine, but they had to stop production and start rolling again. He swallowed the bug and started gagging, so they had to reshoot it again. So if anybody's wondering why it looks like trick camera, it wasn't on purpose. Franz always does a complete camera roll like Copperfield does, and so does Lance Burton. Lance Burton's B-2 stealth bomber. I just noticed the camera movement. If you look down below, you can tell that the camera's moving to another location with a duplicate white Corvette minus the B-2 stealth bomber. And the cameraman, when he rolls around, you can see on the TV right the tip of the wing of the B-2 Spirit bomber. And I noticed that the runway itself, the lines are completely different, and you can't help that because that's the way the base's runway is. They have it with lines and without the lines, so it couldn't be helped. there was some military appreciation day at our church, and I mentioned that because those people work at that base, and they looked at each other like he wasn't supposed to know that, but he figured it out. They gave me that kind of look because they were there helping out. And then I mentioned on Responders Day, and a policeman said, you mentioned that someone said they saw a police car, and then all of a sudden it looked like it vanished. He said, we do have cloaking police cars. I thought so. And Guy Kramer's got something similar called bending light, quantum stealth, hyper stealth. Look it up in Google, search it in YouTube. Now you see the soldier or plane or building. Now you don't. Light bends around an object. My associate, Mr. Bryan, when I was at Harry Hunt, he kept saying, Bill, why are you so fascinated with that pencil bending in the water? And I said, there's something to that. I don't know. Bending light, I have something in my mind, I just can't get it right. There's something you can do with bending around an object. And now I know, Guy Kramer figured it out. Bending light around an object makes things invisible. Mr. Bryan probably understood it. He was just hoping I would break the code, but I couldn't break it. But I was on the right track of understanding invisibility, because I've always wanted to know how to make something really invisible. Because I was thinking, what if they could really make a plane invisible, like Wonder Woman's jet? And I was about 5 or 6 years old around that time. When I was in Lancaster, Ohio, Fairfield County, 748 bar, driving up in the front yard of my grandma and grandpa Green's house, wondering about that as I see jets fly by. And I always wondered if you could clone someone or clone an object. And everybody in my family tree said, Bill, you've been watching too much science fiction movies. But then later on, I found out the government does have a cloaking airplane. And they have a TR-3B flying triangle that can cloak and decloak. So I was on the right track. And we've cloned a bee, and we cloned a frog, we cloned a sheep called Dolly. I don't know about humans, but the government won't let you know.